Hey everybody, this is James Yon from Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. This episode is great because Devin tries to convince me why I should become a teacher. He tells me all the supposed perks of the job. Then we talk about the Secretary of Education. He lists all the things that are wrong in education in his speech, but then he offers no solution. Then we do something fun. We give you a top 10 list of how you can afford to gamble as a teacher. A brand new episode of Crying in My Car starts right now.
Hey everybody, welcome to Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. My name is Devin Siebold. Got my good buddy, Mr. James Yon, parent,
up?
comedian, teacher, comedian, together. We hate each other. Also, we're glad to have you here tuning in. Be sure to rate us 5 stars, share the podcast, let your friends know. Funniest, most stress-reducing teaching podcast on the planet. Right here. And we can't thank you enough, obviously, for tuning in, for watching, for listening as well, and all the support. It's great. Honestly, it really is. And I tour around. I see a lot of teachers.
You do?
I have conversations with them. And I told you this story in the past, but I'm going to reiterate it just briefly. When I go to these teacher shows, you know, Casey Mack gets up there and goes, "Veteran teachers, make some noise." And they go lose their mind. New teachers, make some noise. And it's, and it's one little
A
teacher.
smattering.
Woo.
Yeah.
Not even a smattering.
Just one.
And it's the same one.
Gotcha.
She's a groupie.
Oh, love
She
it.
travels around.
Gotcha.
No, it's
Never teaches, by the way.
Never teaches. No,
Yeah.
it's just one person, 2 people at most. Obviously, numbers are dwindling when colleges are really having trouble getting people into the education programs. They're trying to find some sort of way to get people to become teachers. And the thing is I go online.
Okay.
I see the negativity.
You see it.
I see the people going, "Hey, I'm trying to get out. I don't want to teach." And obviously that kind of noise is going to disrupt the mindset of a new teacher.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if you were going into comedy and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you don't understand. You know,
Don't do it.
stand-up comedy is terrible and
Don't
this is
do
what
it."
happens." And they, you would
I'll be
listen.
like, I'm not going to do this.
I mean, if it's something you've never done before, there's a lot of kids coming out of college and they're so unaware. It's just a passion of theirs because either their mom or dad put it in their mind of, it's a lot of times it's a generational thing. You know, my mom was a teacher.
I was going to say, your mom was a teacher.
My grandmother was a teacher. Now, I'm gonna actually go the opposite way.
Okay.
I get that there's a negativity around it, but I also think that this is one of the weird times where you really want to be a teacher.
Okay.
And I know that a lot of new teachers out there say, "Why should I become a teacher? What in the world would make anyone want to become a teacher?" And I'm going to give a teacher pitch.
Okay.
I think that it's a great career. The stress is there.
Why I should become a teacher.
So let's say you want to become
Okay.
a teacher,
All right.
James. You say, "I want to become a teacher."
Okay, here we go.
But hey, I'm really worried. There's a lot of negativity online. If you don't compare it to the past, it is a great career. And I mean that because a lot of teachers go, "I hate it because it's not the way it used to be."
Okay.
Pre-COVID. After COVID, yes, there's a pandemonium. But guess what? I taught in schools that were full of pandemonium.
Okay.
But I taught there from day one knowing it would be pandemonium. And I handled it a little bit easier, I think, because of my introduction into the chaos. I was born in it, molded by
Yes.
it, the darkness,
Yes. Yes.
You weren't thrown in the darkness. You were born in it.
That's right. All right.
I think a lot of new teachers are scared by what the old teachers are saying because it did used to be easier. It is a challenge now. It is a major challenge.
And this is still your pitch. You're still getting me to do it now.
But that said,
Okay.
I know you're already like, and for that, I'm out.
I'm out. I'm Shark Tanking it, yeah.
I'm out. I get it. But I do think that new teachers have a leg up because they start in the chaos.
Okay.
And they can kind of mold it how they see fit, deal with it in their own ways, and not have to adapt. You don't have to adapt because it's the only thing you know is the chaos.
It's going to be this way the entire time.
Yeah. The second thing I'm going to say is that you get a little bit more leeway if you can't deal with the chaos. Let's say you go into a school and you go, "This is not for me. I don't like this."
Yeah.
Move schools. There's, like we talked about last episode, Virginia alone has 3,500 openings for teachers. Guess what? Several hundred of those are in great schools, in great areas where you'll have support and admin support. A lot of people are quitting teaching because financially they can't, do well with it.
Yeah.
And also, sometimes they're retiring and there's just not people filling in. Just because there's an absence in a school doesn't mean that it's a bad school and people want to leave. People are retiring, a lot of them. And guess what? There's holes to be filled in great schools.
That's true.
There's a lot of teachers out there that love their job.
Yeah.
A lot of teachers love it.
Yeah.
And they just retire. And guess what? You can move into a position that somebody else loved, and you can love it too. I really do think that it's a great opportunity for mobility. At one point, when I first started teaching, there was no mobility. It was you take what you get. There's
now you
5 positions open in the whole county.
You have choices now, is what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, tons of
there
choices.
There you go. Okay, now if you're pitching me, I'm starting to be like, okay, go on.
Now, the other thing I will say, job security.
Oh, that's true.
When you had the pandemic, teaching was one of the few jobs that just doesn't go away.
No.
I mean, not only the pandemic, but prior, if you taught a while ago, I taught during the recession. And, there was a budget cut at the time and we lost some positions. But guess what? I got another position right away because they still realized they needed teachers.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately, these kids got to have somebody there.
Yeah.
And a recession doesn't mean that there's less children to be educated.
No.
I mean, they're still there.
They're still there.
It's one of the most, sometimes, the economy goes up, down. We think we're in a downtrend right now.
Yeah, we are.
That things aren't, guess what? It is getting a little bit of protection. You are in a protected industry. And it's not going to go away.
And thank God, because let me tell you, our solution during the pandemic, let us parents teach. We should never do that again.
No,
we should never
absolutely
do
not.
that again.
Now, this is the thing, too. I will say, when it comes to job security, that's one thing. As far as the money is concerned, I go through a lot of news articles every single week with Crying in My Car.
You do.
And let me tell you, there is a shift. Pay raises. We're going to talk about one today. A lot of states are implementing more housing assistance, more pay raises for teachers.
Like to hear it.
More actual teacher housing.
Yeah.
They are building apartments for teachers and saying this is, an opportunity to affordably live in a nice community, but also we're giving you this, we're giving you that. I'm not going to lie too. When I left the Florida education system, another pitch that I'll give you is I was shocked how much money was in my retirement program. I mean, I was only in maybe 13 years in terms of investing money, but there was a sizable chunk, and I was going to get a decent, not a huge, but some money when I retired. Or I could move it over to a 401k, private, industry. By the way, teacher trick, just letting you know, if you're going to quit in the state of Florida and you're going to quit, you have to move your retirement over to a different account before you quit. They will not let you after you quit.
So it has to stay where it is.
It has to stay where it is. If you, just a little teacher hack, just letting you know.
Not telling you to quit.
Yeah, not telling you to quit, James. No, what I'm saying is that the retirement system is pretty good in a lot of states.
Okay.
Especially if you go up to the North, Michigan retirement system. I mean, I always hear these strong union states have great retirements. There's good benefits too. I mean, in the state of Florida, I always got a teacher pass for SeaWorld. I could go to SeaWorld for free. Teacher Appreciation Week, you get some pretty decent discounts.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. A lot of things that I go to sign up for, I wish I was still a teacher because they go 10% teacher discount. There's also a teacher discount. It's along with the military discount. You see military, teacher, occasionally student,
Yeah.
But usually you get a pretty decent discount on things like software, there's decent things that I go, even laptops. You don't even know, but you can go to Best Buy and say, I'm a teacher. And they go, oh, by the way, did you know? Mm-hmm. You get this percentage off.
One of the things I thought was really cool that they give the teachers and the students when my kids are still attending school, you got Microsoft Suite for free, Office Suite for free.
I did. I didn't even know. I emailed my...
and that's a huge savings, by the way.
It is. It's hundreds of dollars.
Yes.
I emailed my IT guy at our local school, and I said, hey, I need Microsoft Office on my personal computer. Do you know of a place I can get a good discount? And he literally sent me a code. And
Yeah,
he
it's
goes,
free.
by the way, you're a teacher, you get it free.
Yes.
And I was like, even on my personal? He goes, yep, it's yours. And it sent me a code, and it unlocked the whole thing, and it was mine.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's a great savings.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
But there was cool perks like that. Also, not going to lie, James, not going to sugarcoat it one bit. I know a lot of teachers have work that they take home.
They do.
But I did take home some work, but I tried to keep it mostly at school.
Okay.
And I'm not going to lie to you, James, being home, I taught at a school that we were out of there at 3 o'clock. I'm home by 3:30. That's pretty good.
That's great.
I did enjoy the
That's
3:30
pretty great.
days. Now,
Okay.
it wasn't every day. Obviously, there was a lot of times I had to stay back. Sometimes I had to take work home, grade things like that. But 3:30 was pretty good.
That's pretty.
I had a pretty
good.
sizable afternoon.
Yeah.
I live locally to theme parks. A lot of times I could grab my kids, take them to the theme park, still get a full day there. If I had a 9 to 5 or 9 to 6 job
Couldn't
or
do
an
it.
evening job, not going to work. Another thing I will say about teaching, new teachers out there, you're like, hey, I don't know if I should teach. I want to start a family. It's the most family friendly. You're off when your kids are off.
That makes a lot of sense, by the way.
That is so
Kids
good.
get up and go to school with you. They come home with you,
Yep.
and you're off for the holidays when they're off. Absolutely.
And when I was, single dad, had my a 2 and 3 year old boy, I was home with them all the time. I dropped them off at school, went to go teach, got done teaching, picked them up. Was home.
That is pretty sweet.
That was the greatest thing. During the summer, guess what? We're home. We're on the same schedule.
Yeah.
They don't go back till I go back. That was the coolest thing. In terms of quality of life for my kids, I was able to give them a much better quality of life because they got to have dad around.
That does sound nice. And juice boxes.
Juice boxes. Yes. Now, James, you laugh, but there was one perk we did have in my school that I'm curious if other teachers have it in their school too.
What was that?
We had the discarded lunch chair.
What?
So Michelle Obama said that you have to take a certain amount of items. So you have to take a certain amount of items. So let's say you go through the line and you don't want the broccoli. You don't want the orange. Well, you have to. You have to take it.
That's what, because
And
she
then
said so.
also, you have to take the milk.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want the milk.
No.
Maybe you got a bottle of water.
Yeah.
We had a discarded items chair where as soon as people came out of the line, they could go, I don't want this, and they could put it down. And other kids could come over and get it if there was any left by the time I reached it, because I usually rated it first. I would literally go down to the chair and I'd be like, you don't really want that, do you? And they'd be like, actually, I don't want this cheesecake. And I'd be like, perfect.
Perfect. Yeah.
But no, I seriously would go down there and I grab like 6 milks at the end of the lunch period, and I grab all the milks, take them back to my room. I would take them home, and you could just use it for milk in your own cereal.
Man, absolutely.
I would take the fruit all the time. Had big fruit bowls and take fruit home for my kids on the way home. Just throw back a little cutie, a little orange, and they
I like
eat it. It was great. That I will say was a cool perk.
So I will tell you, after listening to all this thus far, I'm interested.
Yes.
Now, what are your retirement benefits?
Can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
I will say there was one thing that infuriated me my first year as a teacher.
What was that?
Infuriated me. I went through the lunch line, and the kids in front of me were getting a tray of food. I said, that looks great. I will get that tray of food. Oh. And I did. I got that tray of food. The exact food that they had.
Got it.
They had, pizza, a little bit of mashed potatoes, lots of starches. They had a little one of those little squeezy grape things, frozen grape things.
Those are great, by the way.
Oh, delicious.
Yes.
And a milk. And I got the same thing. And the kid in front of me goes through, and she says $1.40.
Yeah.
And he pays $1.40. I go up, she goes $2.50.
Hey.
And I said, why? And she goes, it's an adult lunch. I said, I don't want it. I got the same thing as him. It's a kid lunch. She goes, well, you're an adult. I said, you charged him $1.40. You're charging me $2.50. She goes, well, you have access to the unsweetened iced tea. I don't want unsweetened iced tea.
Yeah.
I got the milk.
Yeah.
And she's like, but it's more. I said, it's the same. I have the same thing. Dude, James,
Bro.
I was ready to quit. I was almost like,
that's the one thing.
I'm done with this job.
That's it.
I'm not going to lie. I'm still mad about it.
Yeah, I can tell.
Don't, it's the same
It's the principle.
items.
Yeah.
There's a lawsuit there. That's what I'm saying.
Bro.
Morgan & Morgan, if you're listening, there's a lawsuit.
$1.40.
Yeah. For the people, for the pizza.
Gotcha. There you go. There you go.
But I was so mad about that, dude.
You almost had me. I was almost going to go out and become a teacher.
Now you know.
Yeah, now I know.
It is $1.10 more for your lunch.
No, I say no sir to that.
Yeah. You know what's funny, though, is probably there was like $8 worth of food on my plate still. Like, when you think about it, you're like, $2.50. This is an outrage.
That's an outrage.
Yeah, I shall never.
I shall never do this. Yeah.
But it was. So that's some of the pitch that I'm going to give you. Now, there's a ton of other things. I mean, summers are good. Holidays, you always have holidays off. You know, those 3-day weekends, those are great. I mean, again, it's not paid, but it is still time off.
There are some perks too. Also,
what's that?
Sometimes parents are allies, and there's treats involved.
Oh, yeah.
There's treats involved. Let's not forget about that.
Food and gifts. Especially if you're an elementary techer. You get showered with gifts during teacher appreciation. Yes. Say it's your birthday. Done. If your birthday's in, June, don't do that.
No.
Say your birthday's in February.
There you go.
Lie.
Oh, fundraiser? I need to buy this chocolate to help you kids out?
Yep.
Oh, all right. Just because I care.
I also enjoyed, and this was one that I don't know if a lot of other teachers can relate to this, but if you're a high school or middle school teacher, you might be able to. I had a free gym membership.
How?
Because our weight room was wide open.
That's right.
So after school, I knew the coach, and I would just tell him, I went to him and I said, hey, after school, can you just open it for me when you, are heading out or whatever? And he would meet me all the time. Every single day, I worked out. I got in great shape. I would just meet him. He'd unlock the weight room, and I'd go in and I just lifted weights. And I would run. We had a little treadmill. I had a free gym.
You did?
Yep.
I just thought about that.
I worked out there every day. I loved it. I thought it was great. I had full access to that. And I could go play basketball. I would go play basketball in the back courts or they were practicing. As a person who liked to be fit, active, I enjoyed having that access.
That's a perk.
In school.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
so
right.
there were little things, that, and I will say too, this other thing is probably the biggest sale that I'll give you. I think teachers are amazing, awesome people. And I think in order to become a teacher, you have to have one thing that society sorely lacks, which is empathy. You have to be able to put yourself in another person's shoes. You have to be a good person to be a teacher. I think, honestly, that the people that I know that are the best people are teachers.
Wow.
And therefore, you work with some of the best people.
Okay.
I mean, some of the teachers that I knew were just some of the nicest people. Shirt off their back, anything you needed. Some of the most pleasant people to be around. Usually because they're a teacher, they're also pretty intelligent.
Okay.
Like, you had some really intelligent discussions. Usually you're like-minded in your politics. You're like-minded in a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it's because you have this general idea that, hey, we're here to better the kids. We're here for a just cause.
Yeah.
And it's like, it feels good to work with other teachers.
United front.
Yeah, so you don't have to work with jerks.
No.
I mean, the jerks are pretty easily wheeled out. Yeah. You can't be selfish and be a teacher. You can't be a terrible person. I just think that they kind of weed themselves out pretty easily.
I would say that, man.
Yeah.
I'm thinking back to all the teachers my kids had, and they were pretty amazing people, to be honest with you. I told you the story about Miss Gonzalez saving my son Devin, who was just going through it. You never forget those teachers either.
You don't. And
shout them out.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was, some of the cool perks about being a teacher that I really enjoyed. And it gets so much negativity, so much negative press.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna make a pitch and say that I think that it's a great career. I really do. And people often ask, why don't you still teach? I got kind of forced out with a terrible situation with my union and the trying to do comedy. It was a big debacle.
Yeah.
I tell about it online. I'm not hiding anything. There's a big video that I did about it. And I loved teaching besides that. I stayed in it longer than I had to. I was making more money doing comedy than teaching.
And I remember those days.
I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was stressful. There were times that I was like, man, I do wish I was just doing comedy full time. But I kept it because the perks outweighed the negatives, the pros.
There you go.
And okay, you ready to jump into the teachers in the news?
I am. Now you're going to bring all the bad stuff about teaching.
Before we do, by the way. It's not all negative. Okay. We're jumping into some positive news. There's actually was a teacher in this past years, I didn't know this. I know the time has passed, but I wanted to bring it to the attention of people in case you didn't know. Competing against Joey Chestnut in the hot dog eating competition was a teacher. Yep, Jeffrey Esper of Oxford. Oxford. Woo. Yeah, he's not smart enough to not eat 50 hot dogs, apparently. Yeah. But apparently, this guy placed second last year and placed second again this year. And so we got a teacher that is able to he downed 47.5 hot dogs last year. And this year, I think he went for 52.
Yeah. That's a lot of hot dogs.
49. 49. Good night.
That is a lot of hot dogs.
49 hot dogs.
10 minutes.
Did you ever, what blows my mind is they're not small, like tiny hot dogs. These are good-sized hot dogs.
With buns.
Yeah, I don't. But it's cool to be represented, have teachers out there representing, but it's true. We binge eat anyways. Usually our tummy is completely empty the whole day, and then you get off work and you're like, 49 hot dogs? Why not?
Shovel them down.
Yes. But it's pretty cool to have a teacher representing, and 2 years in a row, when Joey Chestnut retires.
He's the next in line.
He might be next in line.
There you go.
All right. This next one that I want to get into is teachers are getting extra pay in a Senate property tax plan. I've been seeing a lot of positive news out of Texas recently. And the Texas Senate has voted and approved a $3.2 billion supplemental pay package for teachers as part of a bigger proposal they want to send to voters in November. Okay. It would be, this is weird though, I don't understand this part, a $2,000 check for full-time classroom teachers in districts with more than 20,000 students, and $6,000 check for teachers in districts with fewer than 20,000 students. I don't know about that. It's weird to me because a $2,000 check, if you're in a district with more than 20,000 students, that's usually a better urban city, and it's usually more expensive to live in the city. It's usually cheaper to. No, I know, but they're the smaller check.
Gotcha. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
like you would
weird,
think they would need it more than the person.
Yeah,
in the
you would think
place.
a teacher working in Manhattan is going to need a lot more money.
That $2,000 is really like $200.
Yeah, than a teacher, in the Hudson River Valley or that $6,000
is really $6 million.
Yeah, that's the thing is you look at that. So it's kind of weird. There's also a tax property relief plan. That's great. So apparently there's good money over there that they're doing good things with. And apparently teachers are getting a cool 2-for-1, by the way. They are getting a $100,000 homestead tax exemption and the supplemental pay as well.
That's not bad.
That's not bad.
All right.
So seeing kind of stuff like this is really a good hope that we're heading in the right direction. James.
Promising.
One day you might.
One day.
One day. But apparently Texans, they said are much in need of this bill. It has been approved by the Senate. It's going to get voted on and hopefully pass. So pretty tangible benefit to the teachers.
Now, let me ask you a question before we move on. Devin, we've been talking about you pitching people becoming teachers. Everything that you know about me, what do you think I would teach if I became a teacher? What would I be good at?
Oh, man. I don't know. In that shirt, ag.
Welcome.
You look like you're heading out to the farm.
I am.
But no, I honestly think you would be probably, obviously social studies is a pretty good one.
Yeah.
Psychology maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good career.
I'm most interested in, believe it or not, history.
History, yeah, see.
I think history is a great
why,
one.
But everybody always says this, and it's true. It's a male thing. I don't know why it is, but most history teachers, think back, your history teachers were mostly male.
Male, yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I don't know. We just like Civil War reenactments.
I don't think I do.
I don't think you do.
Yeah. I don't think I do.
I don't think that one would be. Yeah. Maybe pass that one up.
Yeah.
All right.
How about that Industrial Revolution?
Yeah. How about that?
There you go.
So this next... It's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. We had this conversation in the car on the way here, James.
Oh, this is crazy.
It's about San Francisco.
We did.
Yeah, so we just talked about Texas. Now, Texas has a massive influx of people coming there, especially Austin, which is where the story came out of. Austin is a massively growing center from these progressive areas, and more people are coming in. However, a lot of the exodus is coming from major cities in California like San Francisco. Mm-hmm. San Francisco is seeing a massive drop in property tax revenue because not only is the property value dwindling with the growing, increasing drug and homeless problem, but also people are leaving and they're not filling in those vacancies. There's a lot of buildings that don't have anybody in them.
Yeah.
And so with that, since teaching relies so heavily on the property tax, they are having to figure out what to do with all this money. Apparently, teachers are threatening to go on strike in San Francisco if their pay raises aren't met. And yet the district says we have budget issues and they don't know where they're going to meet in the middle.
That's not good.
Especially because a lot of these big cities like San Francisco, LA, and stuff like that, and Chicago, they're used to striking and getting something. But if there's nothing there to give,
what happens?
then it makes a big problem.
Yes.
Because you can't just magically have local tax money appear.
No.
It just doesn't exist. So I hope that the teachers get the teacher pay raises they're promised, but also I hope that we come up with a new form of revenue for areas that are struggling, because apparently they said that this district is going to struggle to meet the needs. It is, where's the numbers? Oh, it has lost 5,000 students this past year.
That's a lot of kids.
You get, especially because a lot of the pay, or not a lot of pay, a lot of the money that comes into the district is based on per student.
Yes.
The states give you a certain amount, federal funds give you a certain amount based upon how many kids. So now you're losing more money.
I will tell you, man, 5,000 kids is a lot, man. That's like 2 classrooms here in Florida.
And plus, when you lose that many students, you also lose the teacher positions that would have filled them.
Yep.
That's they're talking about merging schools as a last ditch effort to just shut down a school and go, you got to go over here.
Completely shut a school down.
Yeah, you got to go over here. So apparently, over the past 5 years, they have seen massive declines in teachers. They said that there's 5% demand for wage increase, but that the union wants the 5% raise. But San Francisco authorities have said that would completely deplete all the money that is in the new agreement.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. You run into some of these problems where there's just not enough money.
I don't even know what you would do in that, because no matter what happens between the district and the teachers, the biggest person to be affected is going to be the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's kind of a double-edged sword, too, because the teachers aren't getting paid more, yet the property values aren't going down as much as they should. You still can't afford on a teacher's pay to live in San Francisco.
No.
And so I don't know. It's weird.
Right. Everybody's getting bused to Compton.
Yep. Did I ever tell you about my visit to Compton?
No. What?
I was coming back from my TV taping of Laughs TV.
Yeah.
And I pulled off because I was really hungry, and I saw Hardee's, and I was like, "Ooh, Hardee's!" And I remember I pulled around to the window, and there were bars on the window, and they had to like turn my cheeseburger sideways and hand it to me. And I was like, "Oh, are you guys closing?" They're like, "No," and I was like, What's with the bars? And they're like, "You're in Compton." And
you're like,
I was like,
wait, what?
Yeah. I was like, okay, all right. Sorry about
Did you
that.
not see the guy crip walk?
Let me get my let me get my sandwich here and drive away.
Get away?
Yeah. No tires. Okay. All right. You never know. You never know. But all right. Now this one is. Oh man, you sit here and you get so mad. I interviewed the Secretary of Education. If you have never seen my video interviewing the Secretary of Education, it's a lot of politics. It is a lot of the guy. I'm gonna shake his hand and say thank you for taking the time out to be interviewed with me. 30 minutes of his time of interviewing a cabinet member.
That's a lot.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That said, a lot of it was so politically answered, where they weave around a definitive answer.
Yes.
And this is how crazy it was. I didn't even realize how much I had been played until people started commenting. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, it was so politically masterful.
Gotcha.
Now you have our U.S. Secretary of Education, Miguel Cardona. He has done a recent speech. He did a fiery speech, a rousing speech, and it was apparently in Orlando. I didn't even know he was here but he was here for the NEA, National Education Association, big conference they had here.
Okay.
And apparently he did a big speech, and he said, you know what, educators have champions in the White House, and said that teachers are facing an intentional, toxic disrespect. I can't help but feel like this administration, Secretary of Education and the Biden White House has just consistently pointed out the things that we're going through and not done anything
Gotcha.
I mean, don't get me wrong. When I was, voting, I was like, oh, man, wow, Joe Biden, current teacher in the White House. Dude, we got this.
Yes.
This is going to be a windfall.
Yeah.
I'm not I don't have political, ties that I'm so, into one person that I've got to side with them no matter what. I really think that there's not much done for teachers in terms from the federal perspective.
You think it's just been more posturing than anything?
These kind of speeches, while they fire you up and they sound great, and you sit there and you go, wow, he's right. It's like, and
what are you going to do about it?
What are we going to do about this? So he said the so-called leaders complain about public education but sleep well at night knowing their teachers are making less than $40,000 a year. You're the leader.
Yeah. It's on you.
Yeah, imagine the CEO coming over top of all of the employees and being like, you know what? I can't believe that your managers are only paying you $30,000. Anyways, get back to work. Enough of the speech. Keep going.
But it's you.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I will say is that the student debt relief loan plan to help out the teachers, that one was a pretty good one, but we already had that in place. The problem is that there were too many hoops to jump through that a lot of the applications were being denied. I got mine approved. I had to try 3 times.
To do it, really?
Yep, 3 times to get it approved. And literally one time it was the principal didn't properly do the format for the date on his signature.
Wow.
And they sent it back.
Because the date format was incorrect.
Dashed. It wasn't slashed.
Oh, slashes,
it says
no
slash
dashes.
Underneath. It was literally like, how frustrated can we make these people to where they give up and just pay us?
And that's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, so this one took away those barriers.
Gotcha.
Okay. Secretary Cardonia, good, thank you.
Thank you.
What else?
Yeah.
So you just see there, the debt relief is one thing. He says we need to bring back respect to the profession. I agree. He said it's not fair. You have to choose between professional growth or seeing your family. Do something. Let's make sure there are pathways for career growth, so you don't have to leave the classroom to lead. And let's end the professional learning practices that expect you to be trauma experts after a 1-hour-long meeting. How?
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't understand. I don't like pointing out the problem
We
without a actual solution. Going, here's what I'm going to do. Where's the here's what I'm going to do speech? I want that. I mean, I don't like these. It's just, all it is exactly what he got. A blurb of him being fiery and making talking points in the news, and that's it.
And no real
guess
solution.
what? He can come back next year to the NEA and deliver that same speech.
And they'll be fired up
And
again.
you know what? None of the problems will have changed or been addressed. That's the crazy thing. That speech could have been delivered 2 years ago.
Yeah.
In fact, it probably was in some reiteration from his, from
That's
earlier speeches.
Actually true.
This kind of stuff is just like so frustrating because it's like, where's the initiative?
Yeah.
Here's what we've done.
Gotcha.
Here's
let me
what
tell you
we're
something.
doing.
Devin, let me tell you something, man.
Yeah.
It's very challenging being a teacher. There's all kinds of problems. Let me list them 1 through 10 for you, man. Okay, now that I'm done, I'll see you later. Same time next year?
Yeah, I know, right? Right.
Got it.
This line threw me off. I'm here to say that you can fight for competitive salaries and be student-centered. In fact, I believe fighting for professional wages and benefits is fighting for students. Great. Thank you for doing that speech in a state that we don't have the right to strike, where our unions are dismantled. It's like, okay, so you're telling us we should fight, but our state says we can't. So,
sucks to be you.
Yeah,
all right.
I know. And by that, I mean everybody but you.
And out.
He says, we must, and he says, I'm going to say it here. We must stop teaching to the test. And he got the loudest applause of the speech. Bro.
But that's what you have to do if you want to keep your job.
Bro.
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of stuff, it's literally, how can I get the biggest applause and say, all you're doing when you do these speeches is you're going on stage and going, thank you, Detroit. And people go, he said our name. He knows who we are. He knows where he is.
I care about you.
Oh, my goodness.
He said
And then they change one of the lyrics, you know? Just a small town girl living in Orlando, Florida. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's here. That's here.
He gets it.
And it's like, where's the actual
solution?
It's a plug and play.
Yeah.
That's a plug and play speech. I don't know.
But it works.
But
it works.
It does work. And, these people obviously ate it up, cheered it on. Mm-hmm. Great. Sure. Left there with nothing.
Yeah, you left with nothing, though.
I mean, if you're going to sit there and go, we must stop teaching the test. Stop giving us a test
to teach
that we have to teach.
Yeah.
Maybe work towards that first. So let's do that. So I sat there and I read that whole thing, and it outraged me, man. It outraged me. I get what it is. It's a lot of talking points. It's the politics of it all.
I love the fact that I get to see the behind the scenes kind of with you as a teacher, because as the normal person, meaning the person that's not been a teacher at all, we watch that and go, oh man, look at this guy. Look at him.
Their back.
Oh, he got this, man.
Yeah, that's why I'm here to expose that.
Thank you.
Because a lot of times you see Governor such and such signs $46,000, and you're like, oh, wow. And then you see it'll be divided up into $2 million increments, divided out over several districts. And by the way, not enough money to actually meet that. It's actually just a suggestion, and probably most teachers will get $200 raise. That's the part that doesn't get in the press release for some reason.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, this last thing I want to end on, my friend James. I've been working out. I've been in my zone.
You have been losing weight, and first off, we're gonna clap for that, man. Congratulations, man.
Honestly, today was the first time, and I'm not got no shame. First time that I got under 270 in 3 years.
Nice, man.
So my highest weight was 296. Mm-hmm. And and everybody's like, wow, he's really big. I'm 6'6". My normal weight is like 240 if I'm Jack Skellington.
Yes.
I'm really tall.
What's this?
Yes.
What's this?
But I was able to get down, and today I stepped on the scale and saw 269 for the first time in a long time. It flashed on the screen on its way to 280, but it was there.
I was there.
And no, I'm just kidding.
It counts.
No, and so I feel good. I've been working out. I've been on the elliptical. I've been running a little bit. I've been on the treadmill. I've been playing some basketball, getting back into it a little bit, and hitting the weights. So I'm doing the crying in my car challenge. I hope that everybody else is too. Now, a lot of people have said, how do you manage to, because my workouts, I go on the treadmill for an hour, sometimes more.
That's a long time.
It is a long time.
That's a long time.
And they go, how do you do it? I've got a weird thing. I messaged a teacher my thing that I do.
Okay.
And I got a funny response, but I'll tell you. How do you stay on the treadmill? How do you stay motivated? I fell into a YouTube wormhole with this guy who does slots, and his name's Mr. Handpay.
You mean like
slots at the casino?
Slot machine.
So he can go in and record himself doing these gambling sessions where he's on the slot machine. And Mr. Handpay is a very wealthy man, and he throws down tens of thousands at a time and is literally doing like $500 spins, like $250 spins. Yeah. He does $10,000 hands of blackjack.
Bro, how do you do that?
And he videotapes it. And so he's got a lot of money. Yeah, but it's wild to me to see him like hit huge, like he hits like $80,000 jackpots, and
Jesus, man.
It's like, it's mind blowing. And he puts these videos online of him doing a session that are like an hour long. He sets up the camera in front of the slot machine and he just goes, and he's like, we're gonna start off with $125 a spin, and you're you're literally like watching. He goes, all right, 5,000 in the machine. Let's see what, and it's gone in 8 minutes, and he's like, okay, we'll do another 5,000, and he throws in another 5, and you're like,
crazy.
To me, it is the most fascinating thing, because I see how much money you can lose doing this. Also, how much you can win doing it.
Yeah.
I get it. Sometimes some of these things hit and everybody around him is cheering him on. And for me, I don't know why, but I put it on my phone. I get on the thing, and he's got a new video every day.
Every day?
Every day. every day.
This dude's insane.
He is insane.
Yeah.
And I go online, I put my my YouTube video up, and I watch it, and the next thing I know, an hour has passed. And like that. I mean, it is so entertaining.
I love
to
it.
see this guy.
I love it.
Just you're like, oh man, he's going up $500 a spin, and he's just like, everybody's cheering him on, and it's wild. It's cool.
So you found a way to hypnotize yourself, like
Hypnotize. It is so hypnotic.
it's like when you're on a long trip, you're driving, and you somehow are like, man, I'm already here.
Yep.
It seemed like I just got in the car.
And that is exactly what it is.
There you
I
go.
cannot, and I've tried watching other stuff, Netflix shows, things like that.
It's not the same.
Nope, because there's downtime. With this, it's constantly like, is he going to win? Is he going to lose it all? And it's so crazy to see somebody gambling this on real money. Like, it's real.
Well, how did he get his money? That's interesting to me.
I don't know.
But he just has it and he throws it away.
Yeah. Oh, well, doesn't throw it away. He makes money.
He makes money. Okay.
I mean, sometimes put $1,000 in the machine and make 50. And it's
Jesus,
like,
man.
oh, okay. Sometimes he puts in a 50,000 and makes 1,000.
Yeah.
It's the luck of the draw.
Yeah. I love all the teachers listening to this who are part of the Crying in My podcast fitness group. They're like, we are not doing that.
You know what's so funny to me, though, is I commented on one of his videos. I said, I use this to exercise, and it passes the time. And people responded like, oh, my gosh, I do too. It flies. Time flies when you're watching them. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about it. So
it's the thrill.
A teacher messaged me and said, hey, how do you manage to stay motivated? And I'm like, I know that I have a new video out every day. I'm excited to see what new game he's going to play.
Okay.
And how much he's going to win or lose. And I just put it in front of me. I'm more excited about the YouTube video.
Wow.
The exercise is the result of
I can't believe it.
Yeah, and so I started watching it, and their response was, yeah, I'm a teacher. I don't have money to gamble.
Yeah, to gamble. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? You're probably right, because I remember when I was just getting out of getting out of college, and I started teaching, and I fell into a little bit of gambling, and quickly realized that was not fun. Yeah, it was on the teacher paycheck. Not good,
bro.
But I did find that there's other ways to gamble. James.
There's other ways?
There are. When you're a teacher and you don't have the huge amount of money coming in to do $5,000 slot sessions,
okay,
there are other ways that you can gamble. So today I've got your top 10 ways to gamble when you're a teacher.
I love this already.
All right. Number 10, start an email reply to a parent with, in case you didn't hear me.
Wow.
It's like, you know what? I'm rolling the dice today. The next one, dye your hair purple and sit in the Moms for Liberty side at the next school board meeting. Let's roll the dice again. We're just taking a chance. We're taking a chance. Number 8. Sorry. Open a bag of hot Cheetos as you walk around during standardized testing. You're like, don't get up. Don't get up. You're going to invalidate everybody in 6 minutes.
You
All
are.
right. Number 7, leave class unattended as you walk to the restroom during class. It's just 4 minutes. What could go wrong?
Oh, my God.
Take a chance. Live on the wild side. All right, the next one. When the principal gives an order during a staff meeting, raise your hand and say, that's not the way we did it at my other school.
Oh, that's going to go well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're not only gambling with your life and with your job, you're gambling that you're probably going to have a new responsibility when you leave. They'll say, okay, great. Why don't you head up that committee? Because that's
Guess
always
who's
the
working the
consequence.
car line.
Yep. Next way to gamble when you're a teacher, down a big gulp right before the beginning of proctoring an exam.
Oh, wow.
Living on the edge.
I got to go. I really got to go.
Yep. Next way to gamble when you're a teacher, when you get hired, keep asking several questions about the P-test.
Oh,
Just be like, so what does it test for?
oh, exactly. Which
Are
drug
you sure?
specifically?
Do you watch me when I do this? Or
Gotcha.
do I get to go in the room by myself?
No.
Or can I have 5 minutes? I got to go around the car.
Can I grab a bag?
The next way is during an evaluation from your principal, pull up your Netflix for the class and click the surprise me button. That is the main way to roll the dice.
There you go.
And trust me, there's rarely a 6 on that one. No, you're getting something bad on that one.
Snake eyes.
And the last one, The number one way to gamble when you are a teacher is to leave your phone on your desk with no passcode set.
Ooh.
Just leave it out. See what happens.
You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, you're going to get a whole lot of weird. Did you mean to send that?
Yeah. Hey.
Hey, I don't know if you saw your update on your story, but oh wait, I got another one. Put your home phone and mailing address on the on your beginning of the year syllabus.
Oh.
That's a good way to gamble.
I've seen. Speaking of that, as a parent, we go to the open house. They would put their some would put their cell phones on.
They're no longer teachers.
Yeah, they were first year teachers. They had no idea.
Yeah, the only way I would do that is if I put like to a Chat GPT helpline or something.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
I'm not giving my own phone number out.
And as a parent, I'm telling you, teachers, don't.
I think my first year, I don't know how, but I think I had to write down my number for something, and I left it on my desk, and like students got a hold of it somehow.
Oh my
And I
God.
started getting random texts.
Oh, absolutely.
Siebold, you up at like 3 a.m. And I'm like, block. And it was always like just random stuff that the kids were trying to like, it was never like an actual genuine question. It was just trying to prank me. You know,
Hey man, I'm gonna bother this guy because I can.
and that's all they do. Bother me. Anyways, we want you to teach. That's what we were trying to say.
In
closing, fantastic career.
Yes.
Give them your phone number.
There you go.
It will work out for the best. Also, listen to what the Secretary of Education says. He's brilliant, I tell you.
Yes.
All right, James, how can people find you, my friend?
As always, you guys can follow me on IG and Facebook at James Yon Comedian, YON. As always, thank you guys for continually reaching out to me, the comments, the conversation we get to have. I'm really enjoying it.
Yep, I tag him every time. So if you don't know, if you don't have access to his stuff, usually you can click on one of my stories, click on his James Yon Comedian, you'll see his name.
Absolutely.
And you'll find his socials. Also, be sure to check me out, devincomedy.com, for the upcoming tour dates. Don't forget those professional developments. You need a speaker. I'm your man. Got a lot of stuff ready to make your faculty laugh and hopefully be a little bit different on the opening day rather than the normal boring stuff.
That's it.
And don't forget also to check me out on the Board Teachers Comedy Tour coming to a city near you. We are going all the way to the end of November. I don't think we have any December dates set, but I'm sure that we will, in typical fashion, book the Arctic tundra for some reason. We booked the cities wrong.
Yeah.
We booked Texas in June and New York in January.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, but hey, whatever. Last December we were in Denver. That made sense.
Hey, what's a little frostbite when it comes to comedy?
You know what?
Yeah.
All right, so thanks again for tuning in. Be sure to rate 5 stars, and we'll be back next week with a brand new episode of Crying in My Car, a podcast for teachers. There might be a clip up there. There might be a clip down there. If it's got our face, if it's other people's stuff, come back. Don't click on that, But us, suggested things. That's us. Crying in My Car. Devin Siebold, James Yon, Board Teachers. Watch. New trailer for Indiana Jones. No, don't do that. Don't do that.